All right, so here is your October 2022 real estate housing market update. So we're going to give you all the stats for the cities of Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee, California. We're going to talk about the total number of new listings, how many available listings are out on the market, how long the average home is taking to sell, and what the average price point is. And we're going to compare that versus not only just last year, but also the peak of the market back in April. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys. Hey, again, my name is Justin Short. I am a realtor and team leader for the Short Real Estate team here in the Murrieta and Temecula, California area. And so this video is going to be your October 2022 real estate housing market update. So just like we mentioned, we're going to talk about the total number of new listings, the total amount of available listings, how long the average home is taking to sell, and average price points for the cities of Murrieta, Temecula, and Menifee. We're going to compare this year versus last year, so stats from 12 months ago. But more importantly, which is going to be a new thing we're going to do the next few months, we're going to compare this month, so October, versus what the peak of the market was, which is, we're going to say, was just back in April. So it could be April, it could be May. I went with April. I think it's going to be a good enough time to give us to show some of those trend differences and show you how what we're seeing on a daily basis as real estate agents, and we're going to show you how that's playing out in the stats that we're going to go over. So I think it's going to be a really good point of reference. But first thing, if you are liking the videos, please do me a favor. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. So again, it helps me, it helps the channel. Obviously, I'm trying to grow it. And if you have any real estate questions, we would definitely love to hear from you guys. So we get people that reach out to us all the time, each week, multiple times a week, asking about best neighborhoods, where they should be living, where they should not be living, asking about home values to their home that they may want to sell, etc. So definitely would love to hear from you guys. If you have any questions, you can feel free to call, text, email. You can see the information below, or of course there at the end. So please feel free and reach out. And let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the city of Temecula and the total number of new listings for the city of Temecula. So last year, October 2021, there was a total of 234 new listings that popped up on the market. And then we're going to compare that versus April. So in April, there was actually 249 new listings up on the market. So an uptick, slight uptick. And then compared to this year, there's actually only 133 new listings up on the market. So that means there's actually 100 new listings less this year compared to last year, and just a little over 100 compared to back in April. So that is seasonal. So it's not uncommon for us to see less homes listed up on the market in the month of October versus April, springtime versus fall. So that's not uncommon. But year over year, we're seeing it's 100 homes less popping on the market. I think that's definitely significant. So the next thing is city of Murrieta. So last year, city of Murrieta, we saw 274 new listings pop up on the market. In April, we saw 326 new listings, so get another 50. And then compared to this year, there's only 166 new listings pop up on the market. So again, that's a pretty drastic change. So I mean, that's almost 110 less listings this year compared to last year. And then compared, seasonally versus 6 months ago. Again, 6 months ago, back in April. I mean, that's 180 less listings, right? It's pretty significant. So that's a pretty big change year over year, right? And especially in a 6 month period. So pretty significant in Murrieta. City of Menifee. So last year there was 263 new listings popping up on the market. In April we saw 264, so slightly less than the fall time. And then we saw slightly more than fall time, I guess. And then compared to this October, so 2021, there was only 187 new listings popping up on the market. So again, that's pretty significant, almost an 80 home difference this year compared to last year. Again, the seasonally, comparing April versus now on new listings is probably not a great stat to take a look at, but the year over year is pretty drastic. And what's real interesting is even though there's less new listings popping up on the market, there is more homes to choose from, so more available. So that means homes are taking longer to sell, and you're going to see how that plays out as we get through the rest of the stats. All right, so the next stat we're going to go over is the total number of active and available listings, okay? So again, we're going to start with Temecula. So last year, there was 286 active listings up for sale. Back in April, there was 246 available homes. So you're going to see 6 months ago, springtime, even though there was more homes listed, there was less available just because it was a hotter market, right? And then now, October 2022, there were up to 377 available homes. So what that means is in 1 year, we saw less listings popping up on the market, but as far as new listings, but there's actually an additional 90 homes available. So when we're seeing significantly less homes listed, but more to choose from, that means there's a gap, right? That means homes are not selling. And you see the difference comparing back to April. So City of Murrieta, so last year in October, there was 313 new active available listings up on the market. Back in April, there was 317, so basically about the same, a handful, few more homes to choose from. And this next stat is, I think, it was shocking to me, but we're actually up to 456 available listings here in Murrieta. So, I mean, that's a swing of almost about 140 homes more this year compared to last year, and also even this month compared to 6 months ago. And again, that's with way less listings popping up on the market with the last stat as far as new listings. So you're gonna see that drastic change in the market. City of Menifee, you're gonna see same trend. Last year, there was 304 available homes for sale up on the market. Back in April, there was only 285 available homes for sale. So again, shows you it's a hotter market. And then right now, October 2022, we're up to 437 homes available on the market. So that's over 130 homes extra on the market this year compared to last year, with significantly less new listings popping up. So we've definitely seen the market change quite a bit. We're nearing really entering into a full-on buyer's market. Again, one of the reasons we wanted to expand these stats is because when we're comparing year over year, I don't know if it's necessarily the best data to compare to when we are in a changing market, right? Markets are changing week to week, day to day, month to month, not year over year. So I felt like I was kind of doing you guys a disservice by comparing to 12 months ago, right? It was just old, outdated data. So, all right, so the next stat we're gonna talk about is the average days on market. So that's how long the average home is taking to sell. So last year in the city of Temecula, the average home was selling in 16 days. In April, the average home was selling in 17 days, so really basically exactly the same. And then now in October 2022, we're up to the average home taking 30 days to sell. So really it's a doubling of length on market. And keep in mind that this stat is comparing closed homes, right? This is not looking at active homes or available homes that are actually out on the market or in escrow. This is only on closed sales. So I think as some of these other sales closing over the next few months that have been on the market, I've seen listings on the market 90 days, 100 days, 110, 120 days. I think you're going to continue to see this average days on market jump up quite a bit. But right now the stats show the average days on market has doubled. City of Murrieta, same trend. Last year, the average home was selling in 17 days. In April, the average home was selling in 14 days, so 2 weeks. And then now, the average home in Murrieta is up to 32 days for closing. So again, we're seeing a doubling, just about a doubling in average days on market. City of Menifee, same deal. Last year, the average home was selling in just 14 days. Back in April, it was selling in 16 days, and then now we're up to 32 days for the average home to sell. So it's actually an increase of more than double for Menifee. The last stat we're going to talk about is just the average sales price. So City of Temecula, last year the average home was selling for $780,000. Back in April, the average home was selling for $838,000, and then now we have an average sales price of $857,000. So to me, this was like the big stat. This is the reason that I wanted to compare today's stats versus 6 months ago, back in April, right? Because we look at year over year, 780 versus 850,000, 857,000. I mean, that's almost an $80,000 price swing. It's over $75,000 raise up in home values and average sales price, right? So that sounds like it's a strong appreciating market. But when we contrast that and take a look at 6 months ago, back in April, we can see that we're seeing an average price of about a $20,000 difference. But I think a lot of that is going to be just the types of homes that are selling, the more expensive homes, because when we're looking at on a daily basis, we're seeing most homes selling for about $20,000 less than what we saw, a few months back. So I think you're going to see that in some of the other cities. But I think that's your big stat to compare versus 6 months ago was the average sales price. So City of Murrieta, so we're going to get into next. So last year, the average home in the City of Murrieta was selling for $598,000. Back in April, the average sales price was up to $745,000. And then this year, October 2022, we are down to $678,000. So that's a pretty significant swing. That's almost a $70,000 price swing. It's a pretty significant decrease in price. And again, there's going to be some variance on how many big $2 million homes are selling, et cetera, right? But bottom line, you're seeing that decrease actually play out here. So I think from what we're experiencing on a daily basis as realtors, a decrease from between 20 to 40 to really 20 to 40,000 is what we're seeing on a daily basis. And you see in the stats show even a little bit more significant. So definitely something to keep an eye on as the market continues to change over the next few months. City of Menifee is the next stat. So last year, the average home was selling for $493,000. Back in April, the average home was selling for $569,000. And then right now, the average home in Menifee is selling for $553,000. So that is, again, officially a decrease in pricing over the last 6 months. And there you're looking at about a $16,000 decrease. So again, that's another one. Comparing 553 versus 493 just a year ago, that sounds like a huge $60,000 price increase. But when you compare it to just 6 months ago, you're actually seeing, again, a $16,000 decrease. So I think looking at those shorter timelines and time frames to compare pricing, I think is going to be a lot more helpful. So we're going to keep this trend going. We're going to keep comparing back to April over the next couple months. Hopefully it's going to give you guys a better idea of what's actually happening in the market and stay on top of it a little bit more. But again, my overall impressions just as a real estate agent and with our clients, as a buyer right now, you definitely have more leverage. You can negotiate the price down. There's less competition out there. Sellers are more likely to give you concessions, to give you closing cost credits, and really you as a buyer can dictate the terms a little bit more, and way more than you could 6 months ago, right? So I think that's a good side. As far as a home seller, what is good to know is that your pricing has not crashed, right? Year over year, we're still seeing an increase. I mean, you guys just saw the stats. So it's not like home prices are totally down and all your equity is gone. No, hey, maybe we're past the peak. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear to say, right? And I think as the stats continue to roll out next couple months, I think you're going to see that more and more. Again, some of these are kind of lagging indicators, lagging data points. So I think they'll play out more in the future. But hopefully that gives you guys a really good perspective on what's going on here in the local market. If you have any questions, again, you can feel free to reach out. Please do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe, and we'd love to hear from you guys. Hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.